What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And we need to talk about stimulus before or after the election. The election is now about 2 weeks away. The question is, will President Donald Trump try to pull a rabbit out of his hat to pass stimulus before the election? Or is Nancy Pelosi possibly thinking about doing it right after the election? But why that might actually hurt her. I'm going to give you all the details of it in this video. But first, as you probably know, I'm Jimmy. Welcome to my daily show. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos about the stimulus check, the election, and pretty much everything related. And don't forget to smash the like button for us down below. It really helps out our channel. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a clue of what is in that box. If you can guess what's in that box, you could receive over $100 from me. I'll give you all the details of it at the end of this video. So first up, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin is actually flying to the Middle East. He's the Republican negotiator for 2.5 days. And I don't really think it's that big of a deal because Nancy Pelosi says she still plans to talk to him even tomorrow while he's actually gone on the trip because imagine that, we have a thing called a telephone. But the question is, will they get anything done? Nancy Pelosi, the leader of the Democrats, the House Speaker, has been heavily criticized on her stimulus negotiation tactics over the last month or so, even from a lot of Democrats themselves. In fact, just a little over a month ago, we had over 100 House Democrats from Nancy Pelosi's own House of Representatives and her own Democrats sent a public letter to her so everybody could read it, basically urging her to pass a new unemployment extension, a stimulus package, and stimulus checks. And what did Nancy Pelosi do? She ignored them. She basically said that they don't really know anything, even though they're Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives. They don't really know what's going on because they're not part of the negotiations. She said that again in her interview with Wolf Blitzer just a few days ago. That was a hot video. I'm sure you watched it on my channel. But basically, she says that the Democrats don't know anything because they're not part of the negotiations. But yet, Nancy Pelosi doesn't involve them. She doesn't tell any of the, leaders of our country, the leaders of the Democrats, the leaders of the Republicans, what's actually going on with the stimulus check negotiations. I have to basically dig through articles and interviews and reports from this and reports from that and kind of piece it all together and bring it to you guys so that we're actually in the know of what's actually going on with the stimulus check negotiations. Why isn't that the US Americans, people are a part of this? Why isn't this like national news? Why isn't this televised? Why don't they give us the details of what's going on? It's almost like there's Nancy Pelosi, the leader of the Democrats, and there's Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, and they're negotiating behind closed doors on telephones, on flights to the Middle East, and who knows where, and they're negotiating these deals of over trillions and billions of dollars. Oh, we're going to spend $100 billion on this and 25 billion on that. Oh, and by the way, maybe I'll give you an extra billion. But we have no idea what they're talking about. And we have to dig through these little details and find this detail, find that out. Oh, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin actually said something today. He told us this bit of information. Oh, Nancy Pelosi said something. But in the reality, they're negotiating behind closed doors and they're not telling the American people everything that's going on. I mean, don't you think that you have a right to know what is going on with these negotiations? I mean, we're talking about trillions of dollars that is going to be spent on Americans and on America and on jobs and on businesses. Trillions of dollars. And it's literally in the hands of two people, Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin. Why is that? And furthermore, then we have the same problems with Mitch McConnell, the leader of the Republicans in the Senate. Basically, whatever he wants to say, he can almost do. He almost has power. These three people have power over you like you would not believe. They literally can decide your fate on if you're going to have money for Thanksgiving, if you're going to have money for Christmas, if you just lost your job, if you're going to get the extra money because of this pandemic, because you lost your job and it's not really your fault. The hands of like your fate in the near future could possibly depend on these three people. And I think it's really just a sad fact that they can do this. They can do this behind closed doors. And then they can come out to the public and say whatever they want to us. They can show us their shiny face that, oh, look, I'm trying to help you. When behind closed doors, we have no idea what they're actually saying until they come out and tell us. And who knows if we can even believe them. Now, the question is, will Nancy Pelosi pass this stimulus before the election, which is only about 2 weeks away now? Now, just to be clear, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said that this time around that the checks will go out a lot faster. That people who are on direct deposit could actually receive their checks in as little as 7 days. Okay, because they did this already this year, and they're expecting it to happen again. So they have the system set up and ready to go. So once they get an agreement, basically they start to put the data in their system, and within 7 days, if you're on direct deposit, you could actually start receiving their checks. So the question is, will Nancy Pelosi, because they're starting to talk about this now, that she might actually try to do it right before the election. Now, what that would probably mean is you won't get your check until after the election. So she thinks that basically it won't really help out Donald Trump because the check will happen after the election and he won't get all the quote credit for it. But she wants to pass it possibly before the election because if she doesn't, after the election, all bets are off. Everything changes after the election. President Donald Trump's either going to be reelected or not reelected. If he's not reelected, he might tell Nancy Pelosi to go fly a kite. Okay. He also could try to send a parting gift to Americans so that they remember his legacy and say, you know what, he was a pretty good president. He helped us out when we actually needed it. I know he only won one term, but he actually helped us out. We could go either way. Joe Biden could win, and he doesn't come in until January 20th. I'm going to tell you, he actually has a stimulus check and a stimulus package plan. I'm going to cover that in the next video. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you stay tuned. That video will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We typically have videos going live at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But as my wife would say, President Donald Trump could tell Nancy Pelosi to go pound rocks. It's supposed to be go pound sand or go kick rocks, but she messed it up the other day and she said go pound rocks. She's probably she could probably hear me from the other room. She's probably like, "What?" But regardless, is that we're coming down to a deadline here with the election. Nancy Pelosi's up for re-election too. So if she doesn't get a deal done, she could be voted out also because what is she going to say to her constituents, to her people? Vote for me even though I've held up the stimulus package for months and I didn't get anything done? So she might want to try to pass a stimulus package right before the election where President Donald Trump, she thinks, won't get as much praise, but she also will get the praise for her because she can say, hey, listen, election day's tomorrow or 2 days from now. Vote for me. I got you the check. I got you the stimulus package. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What do you think? Both sides of Congress have been coming under a lot of fire, and just recently now from billionaire Mark Cuban. I think he would make a great president personally going forward in the future. He said previously that he may have to run as a Democrat, but I personally think he would actually run as a Republican. I don't think it matters either way. I think he's similar to me, where he's basically an independent. He's a realist, even though he's an entrepreneur. He can see what the common person wants and also what you need to run the country as a business. I think that he would make a very good president. He's very level-headed. Mark Cuban says, quote, I would ask the American people to speak to their representatives and explain how important this stimulus program is to them and their families and their communities. I would go to senators and congressmen directly and ask them to put constituents and their needs first over their political party. He says, quote, the voice of the American people is stronger than any politician. However, no one seems to want to listen to us. That is the first thing that needs to change. So I would encourage you to write your representatives, write the White House, write Nancy Pelosi, call them, call the White House switchboard. I'll put the number to that down below in the description. Let your voice be heard. And even further, let your voice be heard on November 3rd when Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, all the senators, all the Republicans, President Donald Trump, everybody's up for re-election. If you think they're doing a good job, vote for them. If you don't think they're doing a good job, then vote for somebody else. Regardless, is let your voice be heard and vote for somebody that you think is actually going to have the best interest of the American people at hand. Can you say hi? That's the rest of our family out there. Oh, you went for Poppy. Okay. Can you say hi to them?
No, you go down.
You want to go down?
Go down.
I wanted to show you what's in this box.
I see.
Look, what's in this box? Look. Don't open it. Then they'll know. We want to give them a clue. Do you want to give them a clue?
Cool.
This is my son, Julian. Our clue today for what's in the box. Tell him the clue.
Cool.
Tell him the clue.
Cool.
Yeah. Our clue today for what's in the box is, if you are not careful with it, it could hurt you. Hurt you, yeah. If you're not careful with what's in this box, it could hurt you.
Hurt you?
Yeah, hurt you. So let me know, what do you think is down below in in this box? Leave a comment down below, and if you guess correctly, you'll be entered into the pool of people who have guessed correctly. And we're going to randomly pick 2 people to win $125 from me, or you can choose my course on how to sell products on Amazon.
Bye-bye.
Feel free to click on my newest stimulus check video and my video about how to sell products on Amazon, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Good job, bye.
Bye-bye.